Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to talk about one of the most important visa category in US for US immigration, which is EB5 investor visa. Before we dive into this one, a quick disclaimer. I am not an immigration attorney and this video is for information purpose only and is not a legal advice. For your specific case, please consult a specified immigration lawyer. Now let's get into this one. Today, we're going to talk about 6 different aspects of EB5 investor visa. Many of those are rarely being talked upon on the YouTube or any other channels. So what are those 6 things? So number 1, of course, we'll talk about what is an EB5 visa. Number 2, we talk about things like what are the 2 main categories and how one is different from another and how one can be more useful to you than the other one. The third one we'll talk about is things upon the visa numbers. If you are somebody like me from India, how does those numbers play out for you, considering the fact that there is a country cap limit on all the EB visas? Fourth thing we'll talk about is the rural versus urban investment difference for this visa category. Number 5 topic, which is very interesting, is on the source of funding for this visa category. What kind of sources can be used? What are the laws USCIS have on these source of funding documents? Finally, we'll talk about things like future of this visa and how this can contradict with the new administration's gold card visa. So let's get into the details. What is an EB5 visa? Basically, this is a visa which is provided to foreign investors by US if an investor invests at least $800,000 into US economy and creates at least 10 jobs out of it. So anyone who is not a US citizen can get a US green card by investing that much amount in US. So those 2 conditions are important: investment amount and the number of jobs being created. The second topic, there are 2 main categories under this visa. One is direct investment and the second is through regional centers. Direct investment. Basically, this is nothing but starting your own business in United States by investing 800,000 or $1,050,000 along with creating 10 jobs out of your business. This is really good for someone who already has an experience into a business. They think that they can use US economy and work out their own business here. That way they will have more control on this money they're investing into US. They'll be able to get more return on investment into this business. They definitely have to create 10 jobs. When I was looking into this option, when I was planning to file for my EB5 visa, I definitely looked into this option. Basically, you can find any business. For example, let's say you want to open a franchisee. Let's say you want to open a franchisee for Jersey Mike's. So Jersey Mike's employs way more than 10 people. So that definitely qualifies as a job. Then the amount of investment required to open a location is also more than 800,000. So those kind of businesses do qualify for a direct investment route for EB5 investment. So somebody who has experience into a business and they want to start this kind of a business, this is definitely a good path for them to use. The second type is the investment through a regional center. In that one, we invest that money into a project via a regional center and we are a passive investors into a project. So we do not actively manage that money. We give it to a project. They use that money to develop an infrastructure which is required for that particular project. And after 4 to 6 years, we get that money back. So 2 important things to know here. We do not get much return on the investment. It could be 0.5% and 1% in few cases, but you can count that you won't get any interest or any return on investment for your money. Number 2 things is that money is not with you. It is with an infrastructure project or whichever project you are investing in. So you have to do your due diligence to understand if that investment is safe or not. So there are good thing is there are multiple projects available. You can do your due diligence and find out which one works better for you than the other one. So direct investment versus regional center investment, one has to make a choice. As of matter of fact, almost 95% of investment which comes through EB5 route is in the regional center route and only 5% or less goes through the direct investment route. When I was doing my own research on investing into EB5 investor, I do not find a lot of resources out there who were able to help and guide me into the direct investment route. So definitely, I don't think there are a lot of people out there who will be able to help you. On the other hand, there are a lot of people out there who will be able to help you onto the regional center route, but you have to do your due diligence to make sure those do not have the conflict of interest in the fund you are investing in. So there are pros and cons on both sides. Now let's talk about some numbers and dates. Annually, there are about 10,000 EB5 investor visas available in US, and there is a country cap of 7% which is applicable to this visa, just like any other visa. So that translates to about 700 visas for any given country. For a country like India or China, the dates are retrogressed, which means that you cannot file your adjustment of status along with your immigration petition for an EB5, except one category. We'll talk about that in a bit. But in general, for anything outside of India and China, the dates are current, but for India and China, the dates are not current. So that's something one has to note down, which is true for almost all the other categories. Just a quick note on what is that adjustment of status dates being current means. It means that when you file your petition for any visa category, let's say for EB5, which is I-526 visa category, you have the ability to file your I-485 at the same time, which is filing your green card application, if your date is current. You can check that on the monthly visa bulletin if your date is current or not in that visa category. So for example, EB1, EB2, EB3, and even for EB5, the dates are not current. They are highly backlogged. But within EB5, there is one particular category called as TEA, or Rural Area Investment, where the dates are current. And that's what we'll talk about next. There are two ways or two areas where you can invest your money through EB5, depending on the geographical location where that project is, or the geographical location where you want to start your business. And depending upon that, you will be able to categorize your investment as rural versus urban. If you are an Indian citizen like me and you are investing into a rural project, you'll be able to file your adjustment of status immediately, which means you can get your green card filed along with your EB5 investment petition. So that's why it is important for everyone to understand that there are two options out there, rural and urban. You have to find out that your investment falls into rural so that you can use the opportunity to file your adjustment of status along with your immigration application. So that's where it is for rural. The another benefit is that you only have to invest 800,000. On the other hand, if you're investing into an urban setup, you have to invest 1,050,000 on the minimum side of both the sides. You have to create 10 jobs. That also applies to the direct investment where you start your own business. If you start your business in a rural setup, you need to invest 800,000 over there as well. So that was about the rural versus urban and why it is so important for somebody who is from India or China to invest their money into rural. Once again, there are a lot of regional centers out there who have their projects in rural area, but it is very important that we understand what those projects are, and so that they are able to give us money back after 4 or 6 years. So moving on, the next topic is source of funding, which is very important, and there are two aspects of source of funding which we need to understand. The first is that what kind of source of fundings can be used, and number two, why it is so important to have a clean source of funding for this project investments. The first one is on the what kind of sources we can use. So along with the money you have in your bank, one can also use the money which is there in the 401k, retirements, IRAs. Some cases you can also take personal loans, but definitely check with your immigration lawyer before you do that. One can take gifts from relatives. For example, if you want to take gift from your parents, you can use that money to invest into this one. So those, even you want to take, for example, mortgage on your home, HELOC, if you own a property, you can do that. If you have a rental property, one can sell that to invest that money into this one. One can take HELOC on the investment property. So those kind of things can be used to file your EB5 investor visa. Other thing, important thing to note is that whatever money you are investing into this visa, it has to come from clean and legitimized sources. So USCIS will ask you, give us the sources where this money is coming from. If there is a movement from one account to another one, they will ask for those other account statements as well. So they want to make sure that any illegal money is not used into EB5 investor visa. Last but not the least, let's talk about the future of EB5 visa, considering the fact that the current administration is also trying to promote a visa which is kind of similar to this one, which is the gold card opportunity, which is there. I'm not sure where that thing is right now. I think they have around $1 million or so where one can get a green card. So the EB5 investor visa is there it was actually created by US Congress, and a president cannot take it away. Only thing is that it has to go to Congress for another extension, which should happen somewhere in 2026 or 2027. So anybody who uses EB5 investor visa, they can be assured that they will have the grandfathering provision in place, so that even if it is not renewed after 2027, their dates will stay current and their cases will be handled. So that is there. I think the safest dates, based upon my understanding, is to file EB5 by September 2026, because by that time it is 100% safe. Your date will be current, and that's one thing which we need to consider. I would highly encourage, go to USC website, check out more on these dates. What I understood from those dates is that it is the safest bet is to file by September 2026 if we want to use this opportunity. And I think although this is valid till September 2027, it's not guaranteed that it will be renewed. It probably will go back to Congress, and if Congress do not extend it, it might not go further. So that's something which we need to know. I will probably get more research on that and create another video on that if there is any like time limit, which is really something which we should know. Having said that, overall, EB5 investor visa is really a good option if you have the money to invest into this country and you have made up your mind that you want to stay here. If you're someone like me who have stayed here for years on H1B visa and really want the freedom to do your own things, then I think I would highly recommend to go ahead and do this one. Do your research on the investment, where you want to make that investment, and number two, work with a good immigration lawyer who can help you file your cases, who will also help you on source of funding questions. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any question, please let me know in the comments. I will try to address those. And please like and subscribe if you really enjoyed this video. Thank you so much.